Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to our stored question. Now today we are going to start the chapter name is kinetic theory. तो kinetic theory होता है क्या? देखो सबसे पहले हम पढ़ेंगे atomic hypothesis क्या होता है. देखो all things are made up of atoms as we know and little particles that move around the perceptual motion and attracting to each other, and when they are a little distant apart but repelling upon beings sequenced into the one another. The Canada in the India and the Democritus in the Greeks and had suggested that matter may consist of individual constituents. The scientific atomic theory is proposed by the John Dalton. Okay, and the size of atom was angstrom, and from many observations in the recent time we know that the molecules made up of up to one or more atoms. Okay, ये एम्पियर लिखा गया गलती से. And the constituent matter, the electron microscope and the scanning tunneling microscope enable us to see the molecules in solid which are tightly packed. Atoms are packed about a few angstrom apart. In liquid, separation between the two molecules about the same, and in liquid of atoms are not slightly rigid as in the solid and moves around the enable the liquid to flow. And in gases the interatomic distance are in tens of angstrom. The atoms when they are at a few angstrom but repel when they come closer. Behavior of gases at a low pressure and a high temperature shows ideal gases behavior. The ideal gas equation can be written as the PV is equal to mu RT, where mu is the number of molecules and R is the universal gas constant. R is equal to 8.314 into joule per mole per calorie. Ideal gas equation in terms of Boltzmann constant. PV is equal to K and KB and T, and P is equal to KB and T, where the N is equal to N by V, and where value of Boltzmann constant is in SI unit is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joule per kg. Boyle's law क्या होता है? It states that if the temperature of a certain mass of a gas is kept constant, the volume V of a gas is universally proportional to the pressure P of the gas. That is V directly proportional to 1 by P, and PV is equal to constant. Charles law क्या कहता है? It states that the pressure of a certain mass of a gas is kept in the constant. The volume of a gas is directly proportional to the temperature T, and of the gas, that is V directly proportional to the T, where V by T is equal to constant. गील्स लॉ क्या कहता है? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सब है, इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए, ये आपके भी बहुत ज़्यादा काम आएगी. अब जानेंगे गील्स लॉ क्या कहता है. It states that if the volume of a certain mass of a gas is kept that constant, if the pressure P and of a gas is directly proportional to the temperature T, and of the gas, that is P is directly proportional to T, and P by T is equal to constant. Avogadro law क्या कहता है? All the states that equal volume of all the gases under the identification condition of pressure and temperature contain equal number of moles and the per molecules. Okay, Gram law of diffusion क्या कहता है? It states that diffusion of R gas of a gas is inversely proportional to the square root and of its density P phi is equal to, that is P is directly proportional to the 1 by root P. Dalton's law of partial pressure. It states that the total pressure of a mixture of non-reactive gases is equal to the sum of partial pressure exerted by the individual gases, and consider the non-reactive gases A, B, C are filled in the container whose partial pressure are the PA and PB and PC are respectively. Then the total pressure of the mixture is P is equal to PA plus PC, PB plus PC. Ideal and the perfect gas equation. According to the Boyle's law, V that is equal to the 1 by P, and according to Charles' law, P that is equal to T, and the combination of equation first and second then is equal to V that is equal to P and by T, and implies that V is equal to R by RT by P, where the R is equal to gas constant, PV is equal to RT, and is equal to ideal gas इक्वेशन या परफेक्ट गैस इक्वेशन, एंड देन एन जो है नंबर ऑफ मोल्स है, पी वी इज इक्वल टू एनआरटी फाइनल इक्वेशन आता है. बोल्टमैन कांस्टेंट इट डिफाइंड एज द रेशियो ऑफ गैस कांस्टेंट एंड टू द एवोगाड्रो नंबर एंड इट इज द डिनोटेड बाय द के इज इक्वल टू आर बाय एन. काइनेटिक थ्योरी ऑफ गैसेस क्या कहता है? काइनेटिक थ्योरी ऑफ गैसेस is a gases which is based on the concept of the molecular motion as is able to the explain and behavior of gases. The assumption of this theory are as a gas consists of a large number of molecules which are perfect elastic sphere. All the molecules of the gas are identical. The size of molecules of different gases is different. The molecules of a gas are in common motion, and they move in the different direction and with the different speed. The size of molecules is very small as compared to the distance and between them. Hence the volume is occupied by the molecules is very small as the compared to the gases, and the hence okay. हाँ, the size of molecules is very small as compared to the distance between them, and hence the volume occupied by the molecules is very small as compared to the volume of gas. The molecules of a gas do not exerted by the force of attraction between and the repulsion on each other, and except during the collision. The collision of the molecules which themselves and with the wall of the container are perfectly elastic. The molecular of density is uniform throughout the gases. The collision are almost instantaneous. The average distance covered by a molecule between the two successive collision and other molecules is called the mean free path. Mean speed, it is the average of the speed of the molecules of gases, and it is denoted by a v bar. And consider a gas contain n molecules, speed and are v1 v2 and v to the vn. Then the v bar is equal to v1 plus v2 plus vn by vn. N square mean square speed, it is the average of the square of the speed of the molecules of a gas, and s is denoted by v2 bar, and v2 bar is equal to v1 2 plus v1 2 v2 2 plus dash 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 plus vn2 by n. रूट मीन स्क्वायर स्पीड क्या होता है? इट इज डिफाइंड एज द स्क्वायर ऑफ रूट ऑफ द मीन स्क्वायर एंड स्पीड, एंड इज डिनोटेड बाय द वी आर एम एस, एंड VRMS is equal to root under V2 bar. Okay. उसके बाद हमारा प्रेशर एक्सर्टेड बाय आइडियल गैस क्या था? आइडियल गैस. Consider an ideal gas filled in the cubical container as shown in the figure. Let a side of the cubical container, and इसका आप डायग्राम खुद से बना लीजिएगा. एक कंटेनर बना के उसमें क्यूबिकल कंटेनर बना के उसमें वॉल्यूम ऑफ कंटेनर गैस एंड मास जो वहाँ पे मास ऑफ m1 molecules of the gases, and n जो है नंबर ऑफ molecules of the gases है. मास m जो है मास ऑफ गैस इक्वल टू m इंटू m है. v1 v2 एंड vn जो है स्पीड ऑफ molecules इन ऑफ द गैस है. vx1 speed of molecules in the x direction. vy1 मतलब speed of molecules in the y direction. vz1 मतलब होता है speed of molecules in the z direction. Then v1 square is equal to vx1 square plus vy1 square plus vz1 2 इसका स्क्वायर. ओके, ये z1 स्क्वायर होगा, ठीक है ना, गलती हो गया. सिमिलरली फॉर अदर मॉलिक्यूल्स v2 स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू vx2 स्क्वायर प्लस vy2 स्क्वायर प्लस vz2 स्क्वायर. एंड सिमिलरली यहाँ भी होगा vn स्क्वायर प्लस vxn स्क्वायर प्लस vny स्क्वायर प्लस vzn इसका स्क्वायर. Initially, the linear momentum of the molecules of x direction is equal to plus minus mvx1, and the final linear momentum of the molecules y direction is equal to minus vx1, and the change in linear momentum of the molecules in one molecules 1 in the direction in the x direction in one collision, and vx1 is equal to, yeah, dash dash dash, and is equal to v mvx1 is equal to minus 2 mv1 vx1. Okay, the time period of a molecules one in two successive collision on the phase 1 container, and t is equal to 2a by 2v1 2a by vx1. Okay, and the frequency of collision, or a number of collision per second of molecules on a phase 1 of the container, 1 by t is equal to vx by 2a. Total charge in linear momentum of the molecules 1 per second in x direction is equal to minus 2 mvx1 into vx1 by 2a is equal to minus bx1 का square by a, or force exerted by the molecules one on the face of the container. fx1 minus mv square minus under bracket minus mvx का whole square by a, and is equal to mvx1 का square by a. ओके, अब फाइनली देखा जाए तो सिमिलरली देखो फोर्स होता क्या है, सिमिलरली कहा गया फोर्स एक्सर्टेड बाय द molecules 2 on the phase 1 on of the container fx2 on the mx2 का whole square per a, and the force exerted by the nth molecules on a phase 1 and container and of the container. Okay, अभी तो बहुत सारा बचा हुआ है, चलो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ओके, और कुछ कोई इशू हो तो बता दीजिएगा. तो हम लोग कहाँ तक हुए थे, यहीं तक हुए थे ना. ज़्यादा तो नहीं है बट कोई दिक्कत नहीं, इसमें टाइम खींच जाएगा. टोटल फोर्स एक्सर्टेड बाय ऑल द मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ द एफ फेज 1 एंड इन एक्स डायरेक्शन fx1 प्लस fx2 प्लस डैश 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 टू एफ का पावर एन तक, मतलब यहाँ तक जाता है. फिर एम भी x1 का स्क्वायर बाय ए प्लस एम भी x2 का स्क्वायर बाय ए प्लस डैश डैश प्लस एम भी एन का स्क्वायर बाय ए. एम बाई ए को कॉमन लेके बाहर हो गया, एम भी एक्स वन का स्क्वायर प्लस भी एक्स टू का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश डैश टू वी एक्स एन का स्क्वायर. एरिया ऑफ each faces of a container is equal to A2, and the pressure exerted by the all molecules of gas in the x direction px f x by a and m by a square and vx1 का स्क्वायर एंड vx2 का स्क्वायर प्लस vxn का स्क्वायर, m बाई vx1 का स्क्वायर प्लस vx2 का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश 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 vxn का स्क्वायर. सिमिलरली द प्रेशर exerted by the gas in y and that y direction py is equal to m by v and is equal to vy1 एंड प्लस स्क्वायर प्लस वी वाई टू का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश 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 वी वाई एन का स्क्वायर. प्रेशर एक्सर्टेड बाय द गैस इन जेड डायरेक्शन पी जेड इज इक्वल टू एम बाई वी जेड वन का स्क्वायर प्लस वी जेड टू का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश 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 एन का स्क्वायर. Since the pressure exerted by the gas in all the direction in the same that is px is equal to py and is equal to p minus and p say, therefore px plus py plus pz is equal to 3p. P is equal to 1 by 3 px plus py plus pz. Substitute the value of px py py and z, arranging the equation we get m into n by 3 y is into v1 का स्क्वायर प्लस v2 का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश 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 प्लस बी एन का स्क्वायर बाय एन, बट एम इंटू एन इज इक्वल टू एम, यानी कि टोटल मास ऑफ द गैसेज, एंड वी वन का स्क्वायर प्लस वी टू का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश डैश वी एन स्क्वायर बाय में एन एंड इज इक्वल टू वी टू डैश वी टू बार कहते हैं इसको. देयर फोर द पी इज इक्वल टू फाइनल रिजल्ट हमारा आता है एम बाई भी वी टू, बट द एम बाई भी इज इक्वल टू पी डेंसिटी एंड ऑफ गैसेज एंड सो फाइनल वैल्यू इज पी इज इक्वल टू 1/3 वी टू बार का स्क्वायर. अब आता है रिलेशन बिटवीन द प्रेशर एंड द काइनेटिक एनर्जी पर यूनिट ऑफ वॉल्यूम मास. लेट मास नंबर plus m is equal to mass of each molecules, n is equal to number of molecules, m is equal to total mass of the gases, and is equal to m into n. v1, v2 and vn are the speed of the molecules of the gas, and kinetic energy of the molecules of gas, and the half mv1 squared and the half mv2 का स्क्वायर प्लस हाफ mvn का स्क्वायर, हाफ mvn का n इन ब्रैकेट में mv1 का स्क्वायर प्लस v2 का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश vn का स्क्वायर कौती बार बट हाँ यहाँ तो बट m इंटू एम इज इक्वल टू मास m यानी टोटल मास ऑफ गैसेज एंड v1 का स्क्वायर प्लस v2 का स्क्वायर प्लस डैश 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 v2 का n स्क्वायर vn2 v स्क्वायर एंड बाय द n v2 dash and the k is equal to half mv square, and the kinetic energy per unit volume of the gas molecules of gases, and the k is equal to k by v and is equal to half mv square, half मतलब half m by v into v dash का square. Okay, and first equation, pressure exerted by the gas 1 by 3 mv square, and second and third by dividing the third and the first, we get p is equal to 1 by 3 mv square and the half mv m by v per स्क्वायर, यानी कि फाइनल से 2/3 आ जाएगा, यानी कि p इज इक्वल टू 2/3 e. काइनेटिक इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ एनर्जी क्या होता है? वी नो दैट द प्रेशर exerted by the an ideal gas is given by the 1/3 mv square, and if pv is equal to p and 1/3 mv square. Also the ideal gas equation for 1 m mole of the gas is given by the pv is equal to rt, and the equating equation 1 and third, and the 1 by 3 mv squared is equal to rt, v squared to 3rt by m, and root under v squared by equal to root under 3rt by m, यानी फाइनल vrms is equal to root under 3rt by m. Average kinetic energy of the molecules of the gases. Consider 1 mole of the gases is filled in essential at the temperature T. Let m is equal to mass of each molecules of gas, and n is equal to number of molecules of the gas, and Avogadro constant, and v2 is v squared is equal to mean square of the speed of the molecules, and m is equal to mass of 1 moles of the gases, and mean m into n. v1 v2 and the vn is equal to speed of the molecules of the gases, and the total energy of the molecules of the gases, and the k is equal to half mv1 squared plus half mv2 squared plus half n squared, and 1 by 2 is 1 by 2 m into n v1 का squared plus v2 squared plus dash dash plus v1 vn का squared by m. But m n is equal to m into n is equal to m and total mass of gas, and the v1 squared plus v2 squared plus vn squared by n, v2 v squared, k is equal to half mv squared, and v squared is equal to 3 m by t, and the k is equal to half m and into 3rt by m, and 3 by 2 rt. Avogadro kinetic energy is the energy of the molecules of gas, and the final k is equal to 1 by 3 by 2 rt by n, but r by n is equal to minus Boltzmann constant, and therefore the k is equal to 3 by 2 kt. Okay, derivation of the Boyle's law on the basis of kinetic energy of the gases. Boyle's law, it states that the temperature of the certain mass of gas is kept in the constant, and the volume v of a gas is inversely proportional to the pressure p and of the gases, that is v is directly proportional to the 1 by p, and pv is equal to constant. Proof, according to the kinetic theory of the gases, and the pressure exerted by an ideal gas is given by the 1 by p is equal to 1 by 3 m by v square, and here the m is the kept the constant, v squared is equal to 3 rt by m, and the pressure remains the temperature t remains the constant, and the v2 is also remains constant, and the pv is equal to constant, which Boyle's law. Derivation of Charles law on the basis of the kinetic theory of the gases. Charles law, it states that the pressure of the certain mass of a gas is kept the constant, and the volume v is directly proportional to the temperature and the gases, and that is the v directly proportional to t, and v by t is equal to constant. If proof, according to the kinetic theory of the gases, and the pressure exerted by an ideal gas is given by the p is equal to 1 by 3 mv square, and v is equal to 1 by 3 mp by v square, and but the v square is equal to 3 rt by m, therefore the 1 v is equal to 1 by 3 mp v square, and 1 by 3 m by p per into 3 by 3 rt by p, and v is equal to rt by phi. The pressure p remains constant, then the v by t is equal to constant, and which is Charles law. Okay, derivation of Lushak law on the basis of kinetic theory of the gases. Gay-Lussac law, it states that the volume of a certain mass of gas kept in the constant, and if the pressure P is of gas is directly proportional to the temperature T, and of the gases, that is dP is directly proportional to the T, and or the P by T is the constant. Prove that according to the theory of gases, the pressure exerted by the ideal gas is given by the P is equal to 1 by 3 mv square, and but V square is equal to 3 RT by m, and therefore the P is equal to 1 by 3 mv m by V square, and the 1 by 3 is m by V is equal to into the 3 RT by m. P by T is equal to R by V. If the volume V is constant, then the P by T is equal to constant, and the which is the Gauss law. Okay. Derivation of Avogadro law on the basis of this. देखते हैं. It states that the equal volume of all gases under the identical condition of the pressure and the temperature, and that it contain equal number of moles and the molecules. Prove. According to the kinetic theory of gases, the pressure exerted by an ideal gas is given by the P is equal to 1 by 3 m by V square, and P is equal to 1 m by 3 m per V into V का square. Consider the equal volume of the two gases, gas 1 and 2, and are kept in the same temperature and the pressure. Let m1 is equal to mass of each molecules of gases, and n1 equal to number of molecules of gas 1, and the v1 का square is mean square speed of the molecules of gas 1, and m2 is equal to mass of each molecules of the gas 2, and n2 is equal to number of molecules of gas 2, and v2 square mean square of the mean square speed of molecules gas 2. Since the pressure of both gas in the same, and therefore the kinetic energy of the molecules of the gases will be same, that is therefore the 1 by 3 m1 n1 into v1 का square by v is equal to 1 by 3 m1 n2 m2 n2 v2 का square by v m1 n1 का m1 n1 into v1 square is equal to m2 n2 is equal to v2 square. Since the temperature of both the gases is same, and therefore the kinetic energy of the molecules of both gases will be the same, that is 1 by 2 m1 v1 का square is equal to m2 v2 का square, m1 v1 का square is equal to m2 v2 का square. From equation 1, n1 is equal to n2, which is a Avogadro law. ओके. काइनेटिक थ्योरी के अनुसार ये जो कुछ फॉर्मूलाज दे रखे हैं, इसको आप लोग ध्यान रखें. ओके. Okay, n1 is equal to n2, which is Avogadro law. Degree of freedom क्या होता है? Defined as the total number of coordinate required to describe completely position and the configuration of the system. Example: when a particle move along the x-axis, and if its position can be specified by the displacement along x-axis. Hence, the particle has one transitional degree of freedom. When a particle moves in a plane xy plane, and it can be specified the displacement xy axis, and hence the transitional degree. Okay. And when a particles move in a space, and the position can be specified by the knowing displacement and along xyz, and is equal to particle 3 degree of freedom. And now consider a system of two particles. Each particle has 3 of freedom, so that the system has fixed 6 degree of freedom. And if the two particles remain at the fixed distance from each other, and therefore there is a definite relation between them, as a result of it, the number of coordinates required to describe the configuration of the remain of the system and reduced by 1. So the system has 5 degree of freedom. It is in general. A is the number of particles in the system, and R is the number of independent relation among the particles. Then the degree of freedom is n is equal to 3m minus r. डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम ऑफ मोनो एटॉमिक गैसेस क्या होता है? ये पे एक एटॉमिक रेडिएशन, मतलब एक वो होगा एटॉमिक नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स, और नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट, मतलब जो एक जो होता है वो 0 पे डिपेंड होगा. यहाँ पे n इज इक्वल टू 3m माइनस r हो जाएगा. ओके, ये ध्यान रखना. ये सारा कब नोट कर ले, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसमें क्या है, A2 है और R1 होगा तो फाइनेंस 5 आएगा. इसमें केस 1 में क्या है, डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम ऑफ ट्राइटोमिक हो तो A3 है और R2 है तो फाइनेंस n इक्वल टू ये आएगा. और इसमें भी 2 केस होता है, एक 3 हो और एक R भी 3 हो, तब आएगा 6. ओके, तो डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम को ध्यान रखना, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एग्जाम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम, नथिंग मोर बट ओके. इसको जान लो, इसे वैल्यू रख के देख लेना. अब कहता है लॉ ऑफ इक्विपार्टिशन ऑफ एनर्जी क्या होता है? इट स्टेटेड दैट इन अ dynamical system in the thermal equilibrium and the energy of the equally distributed amongst its various degree of the freedom as the energy associated with the each degree of the freedom per molecules is equal to half kT and what the Boltzmann constant क्या है? Boltzmann constant, बोल्टमैन को जान लिया हमने. Energy equally distributed among its various freedom of and the energy associated with each degree of the freedom and per molecules half kT is and is equal to where the K Boltzmann constant and the T is equal to temperature of system and prove the consider of mole of monoatomic gas is kept at the temperature T. Each molecule has 3 degree. M is equal to mass of each molecules of the gas, V squared is equal to mean square speed of the gas molecules, and then the half mv squared is equal to 3 by 2 kt and vx squared plus v2 vy squared plus vz squared are the component of mean square speed, and v squared along the x-axis, x, y and z axis respectively. Then the v squared is equal to vx squared plus v2 squared plus vz squared half m into vx squared plus vy squared plus vz squared is equal to 3 by 2 kt and 1 by 3 mx squared plus 1 by 3 vy squared and half mvz squared is equal to 3 by 2 kt. As a molecular motion is the random and there is no preferred direction motion, so the average kinetic energy of each molecules along the axis is the same, that is half mv x squared half mv y squared and is equal to half mv y squared. Okay, यहाँ हाफ एम बी जेड स्क्वायर होता है यहाँ पे. देन फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 1 हाफ एम बी एक्स स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू हाफ एम बी वी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू हाफ एम बी आर स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू हाफ के टी एंड हेंस द एवरेज काइनेटिक एनर्जी पर मॉलिक्यूल्स डिग्री फ्रीडम इज इक्वल टू हाफ के टी. And free mean path क्या होती है? It is the average distance between the travel by the molecules and between the successive collision with other molecules and it is denoted by the lambda. Lambda is equal to root 1 by root under 2 n pi d is 2 t squared and where the n is equal to number of molecules per unit volume and d is equal to diameter of molecules for 1 mole of gases and the pv is equal to nRT and p is equal to RT by v or is equal to n by v into r by n into t, but n by v is the number of molecules per unit volume and r by n is equal to k and Boltzmann constant. Then the pb is equal to nkt and or the n is equal to p by kt and therefore the lambda is equal to kt by root under pi d square p. लास्ट हमारा मोनो एटॉमिक गैसेज क्या होता है? द मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ मोनो एटॉमिक गैसेज हैज ओनली द 3 ट्रांजिशनल गैसेज एंड फ्रीडम. द एवरेज एनर्जी ऑफ अ मॉलिक्यूल्स एट अ टेम्परेचर T is equal to 3 by 2 kBT and the total energy of the molecules of such gases is the U is equal to 3 by 2 G and the kBTNA and is equal to 3 by RT. The molar specific heat is at constant volume CB is equal to du by dt and is equal to 3 by 2 and for an ideal gases Cp minus Cv is equal to R and thus the Cp is equal to 5 by 2 R. Diatomic gas क्या होता है? Diatomic gas molecules treated has a rigid rotator like a dumbbell has 3 rotator freedom, 3 transitional and the 2 rotational. Using the law of equipartition of the energy, the total energy of a moles of such a gas is equal to U is equal to 3 by 2 Kna and kBna is equal to 3 by 2 RT. एंड लास्ट देखा जाए तो इनक्वाडेंसी ऑफ क्लासिकल फिजिक्स क्या होता है? द प्रिडिक्टेड फिजिक्स स्पेसिफिक हीट्स आर इंडिपेंडेंट टेम्परेचर एंड एज वी गो लो टेम्परेचर हाउएवर देयर इज अ मार्क्ड डिपार्चर फ्रॉम द प्रिडिक्शन एंड स्पेसिफिक हीट ऑफ ऑल substances approach 0 to as t is t to the 0 and it is related to the fact the degree of the freedom and get frozen and ineffective at a low temperature. According to the classical physics of degree of freedom must remain unchanged at the all time. The behavior of a specific heat at low temperature shows the inequivalency of the classical physics and can be explained only by the invoking quantum consideration as the first shown by the Einstein. So guys, thanks for watching till the end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye bye and see you in next video.